Guys, you know it already. We're on Patreon. Don't worry about it. Patreon.com/SlyGuyPodcast. If you're too lazy to type that into the search bar, what you could do is just follow the link in the description of the podcast and get straight in there. And for less than the cost of a pint, less than the cost of a pint of milk, actually. Less, I don't even know how much a pint of milk is, but it's cheaper than that. Patreon.com. Get bonus access to the podcast, extra podcasts, vlogs, other things, all the magic treats, nudes as well, testicle photographs. Patreon.com/SlyGuyPodcast. We are brought to you by Visual Antics Apparel, the #1 podcast merchandise provider. They designed the beautiful logo of this podcast, and they've designed the most beautiful merch on the scene. You can visit visualanticsapparel.com and you can check out all the range of podcast merchandise and go gross until you get to the Sly Guy podcast and then go, oh yes, have me some of that. Put it into your basket, go to pay for it and go, I've only had 10% off. Don't worry, Davey's got your back. Sly Guy 10 at checkout for 10% off the Visual Antics Apparel for this podcast. Get yourself decked out looking sweet and then thank me later. This podcast is brought to you in association with Modest Beer. Modest are a local beer making worldwide flavors, I'm told. They are delicious. They are maybe nutritious. But one thing I know for sure is they taste nice going in and they feel good coming out. Modestbeer.co.uk. If you want 15% off any Modest purchase, whether that be merch or beers, you can use the discount code SLYPA15 at checkout and get your 15% off. That's modestbeer.co.uk with the discount code SLYPA15 at checkout.
I'm the Sly Guy.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sly Guy podcast. We had a fun one today for you guys to enjoy. Again, I always build up the excitement of the guest like it's going to be some mystery, as if you haven't already read in the description of the podcast who the guest is. So I realise that's a wee bit obsolete in some regards, but I'll keep you guessing anyway. It's a returning guest, a second appearance on the podcast for my friend and yours, none other Mr. Eshaan Akbar. And what a fun episode we had. We've potted a lot today. I'm going to be gigging tonight, so we're both maybe a wee bit tired of each other, need a little break. Eshaan's going back to his hotel, and whenever you listen to this episode, you will know very soon what that means. Guys, without further ado, please enjoy this week's episode of the Sly Guy podcast with me and my guest, the fantastic Eshaan Akbar. Fist me.
I feel like we're both slightly camouflaged.
Yeah, this is what I like. I like to encourage guests to wear the background colour. And you've done that. You've got the memo, Eshaan. It looks well.
You can just, from my skin tone and my teeth, you can tell I'm here.
Yeah, and this is why I'm wearing a bright white hat, so people can see that I am here.
Diabolical.
Yeah, it looks well. How are you, my friend? All good?
All good, brother. All good.
Yeah, we just I think we're probably both a wee bit drained after we just had a great episode on the Tea With Me podcast, which you will probably look at and go, whoa, how'd that happen? Because Dave's wearing a different outfit.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
The magic of TV.
The magic of editing. Oh. But we're here, and it's good. It's good to have you. I'm excited to have you, because we had a moment on the last podcast where you mentioned where we last spoke, and it was a moment of reflection for me.
Oh really? What was that?
The voice note.
Oh yeah, oh yes, the voice note.
We can chat about that if you want.
We can. Yeah. I mean, you sent me a very nice voice note, completely out of the blue, a couple of weeks ago, declaring your love for me.
Yes,
and you were surrounded by the Belfast comedy scene heavyweights, and you get them to all send me a message on that same voice note, and all the messages were sorry about this, Eshaan.
Yeah, but you know what? I think that moment, for me, I'm not much of a drinker. I used to be, and this is the problem. I don't know if you ever feel there's like, whenever you maybe used to be into something like drinking, and I feel like often there's a dragon and it lives inside me,
right,
and the dragon's still there, and the dragon thinks the dragon can do what the dragon did before,
the dragon
can't, and then when you try to fuel the dragon like you did before, the current
dragon,
the current, less of a dragon, more maybe of a
iguana,
an iguana. I was going to say a lame pussycat, but it doesn't have the same.
I was trying to keep it in the reptilian space.
Yeah, it's good. Reptiles, or like a gecko maybe?
A gecko, yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. But I just, I gave it all, and I had a great time, and I was just feeling like, I don't know if you find it as well, like on your scene, that often you don't see a moment when you get a load of comedians together and it's not a gig or it's not work.
Yeah, that's true.
It's something, and you're just going, this is great.
Great, yeah.
We should do this more. And then we were chatting about other comedians that we don't see much, and we're like, we need to do more. We need to, like, our scene's great, but we need to, and then I think in my mind, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to send them messages to my favourites. I'm going to tell them I love them. And then I think they're like, don't do that because you might regret it. And I was like, shut up, it's only love, I'm doing it.
Yeah,
and then we did it. And then
you did it. I feel very honoured that I made the cut. Genuinely.
Yeah.
Genuinely honoured I made the cut.
And listen, and I feel like we hit up a few different scenes, and I feel like we can all come together.
Everyone's together
as one. And it was, you know what, but that was that thing, having not drank in a long time, and drank what I drank the next day. I was like, I couldn't even listen to
Do you get hangovers or anxiety or both?
Oh, both. Because what had also happened at that, myself, Diona, Mickey, Willie, we had all committed to the bit. We got the booze in, we drank. Shane did a sneaky. He didn't. He had
he's a sneaky little operator.
He had watered it down. He was maybe had a couple of ciders, so he was able to tell everyone everything that we did. And I was, after a while, I went, you know what? It was all good. It's fine. I'll survive.
Yeah.
We'll live.
Do you know what? I don't trust people who keep their wits about them when people are having fun.
Mm-hmm.
There's something underhanded about it.
Because my emotions were up and down. It was a wee bit, I felt obviously terrible because, I was a bit wild from all accounts as well. And then with that, I was like a bit cross with him because this was for your show and we did this and you didn't commit, and then I'm like, you know what? It's all right.
Yeah.
It's okay. So, because then he was like, that if I hadn't been, I think if you hadn't been, nothing would have changed. Yeah. It would be fine. But then I ended up going home. I got a lift home from my mum, which was
that's nice,
sobering. And then I got home and we
must be nice to have a mum.
Yeah, it is. It's got its pros and cons.
Yeah.
Definitely. But
Mum was dead.
Yeah, I know. And rest in peace to
rest in peace.
Mommy Shan. Yeah, Mum Akbar.
She can't offer me a lift.
But
not least because she
would she have offered you a lift?
She couldn't drive. So.
Well, she would have probably if she could though. I would imagine.
Yeah, I imagine she would have done.
Yeah, or she probably would have really cross at you and make you.
Yeah, but you're Muslim, you shouldn't be drinking. That would have been the first issue.
That would have been a good lesson.
That would be a big problem.
Yeah. See, my mum's Catholic; they love it.
Yeah.
So
I've actually, I say that, but the first person I ever saw have a drink was my mum's brother, my uncle, and it was after my mum passed away that I discovered her secret stash of Bloody Mary ingredients under the bed. When we used to go to Bangladesh, she always used to get tomato juice, right? And she never had tomato juice any other time. And I was always like, Mum loves tomato juice on holiday. And then we'd land in Bangladesh, she'd be like, woo! And as a kid, I never really knew what was going on. It was only after she died, I was like, she's in the old Bloody Marys.
And then you're like, she loves Bangladesh.
She loves this place. She loves Bangladesh. I love it too because she's having a great time.
But no, my mum was not impressed with me, but she thought it was in good spirits. So that's a good start.
That's good.
And then I got home and I was just sick in my sink, in the new sink. We've just had work done in the house, and
you don't want to throw it in a new
sink.
sink.
So then I had to transport the sick from the new sink into the toilet, and then had to clean the sink because it wouldn't drain. It was very thick.
Oh,
because my mum insisted I ate some chicken nuggets on the way home, and I was like, I don't need it.
Right.
And I did. And
the chicken nuggets.
Yeah, so then my wife had the pleasure of watching me wearing nothing but a t-shirt, just shovel my own vomit down the toilet. And she said that was probably the least sexy thing I've ever seen. And I said, let's love, it's okay.
Yeah. Did you not use any utensils? You just use your hands?
I used my hands. And then I don't know how, but the next day, spotless, I must have done a killer job in there, like, even so. But it was a real moment.
Cut to montage of your wife and mother scrubbing the place.
Yeah. Me lying on the ground. But no, my mum has seen some things. Like, and when she drinks, my mum, I think, like, that's the thing, because I haven't drank in a long time. Yeah. I just, drank stuff I shouldn't have drank. But it was all right.
Yeah, the thing is, it's dangerous for me because I don't get hangovers.
Right, okay. Do you get the fear, though?
No. Don't get the fear.
Sociopathy.
What I do get is memory loss. So what will happen is people will say to me, do you remember you did this? I'm like, no memory. But luckily, by all accounts, I'm just quite a jolly drunk who likes taking his top off. Yeah. That's the most consistent theme, that my top comes off at some point.
But there's something so freeing about it.
About being topless.
Just getting your top off. Because you know what? I find myself, I'm quite body
You're
conscious.
at a bus stop.
I'm quite...
with your top off.
But is there ever the moment when you're drunk, you catch yourself and you have a moment to yourself and you go, what are you doing?
No, the only time I've ever caught myself, and this happened a lot recently, is You know when you have a wank in a hotel room?
As soon as the bags hit the floor, yes.
You have a wank in a hotel room, and a lot of hotel rooms have full-length mirrors. It's when you walk past a full-length mirror after you've had a wank, naked, and you go, oh, this is grim.
Yeah.
This is grim.
You know what is also grim too in that scenario? Whenever you sit up and you see you get up to go put the tissue away and you see yourself and you're going, oh no, this is, no.
The worst bit is, with the tissue, is when you go to throw it and it gets stuck on your finger. You're like, oh,
like, no. This is... And then it doesn't go where it needs to go, and it just hits the wall. That's it. No, what have I done? That's too much.
And then you look down and there's 6 more.
Yeah.
And you go up in 2 minutes. What is it about hotels that make us do this?
Oh, I think it's in a notoriously horny place.
It's that relentless. As soon as you get in.
You're like, let's go back down now. You're like, do you want to meet downstairs for a beer? Give me 20 minutes. And it's like, why? I just need to settle myself.
Yeah.
That means have a wank. Let me just settle myself. No.
I supported Thomas Green, Aussie comedian, in Glasgow, and we got there at 12:30, and he said, meet downstairs, because we needed to go. Sorry, 3:30. We needed to go quickly. Meet downstairs at 3:35. I fit in a wank in that time.
And a change and everything else? Or did you just bags off and...
Bags off, wank, wash, off. And I said to Tom, I'd had a wank. Yeah. And he goes, we took a lift up to the 3rd floor, put our bags down and came down in 5 minutes, and you managed to... Yeah. I'm like, I don't know what it is. You go in, balls ready to go.
Yeah, it's ready. You probably... It's that thing, whenever you're out and you need the toilet, and like you get closer to home, you get to your door.
Your bladder just
Maybe in your body, your willy's just ready to go. It senses you're in a hotel. And it's just ready to go.
Ready to go
straight away.
Sometimes it's not ready to go. I just still come anyway.
Still do it.
Dribbly, flaccid.
And it's a real. And that's the thing. Now you'll have this problem more than me when your hair drops down over your face and you have to fix it. You go, oh no, what have I done? There's nothing worse than having to fix your hair after a wank. Oh, no, I'm a disgrace. I can't control myself.
Looking like Medusa.
Yeah. It's like, in Titanic when Billy Zane, his hair, when he's being sophisticated, the hair's slicked back, but when he's trying to steal a boat off a child,
all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah, that's post-wank Zane.
Yeah, I mean, wanking is grim, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. When you think, I haven't thought about it this deep until now, and it's an issue.
Activity.
Like I was talking to somebody recently about it, and they were like, "You should never make a decision without having one." I was like, "What do you mean?"
What?
And they were like, "No, you always think clear." And I was like, "Hold on. See if I'm in an ice cream shop and I can't decide between rum and raisin and salted caramel, I shouldn't have a wank." It's not the time.
Sorry, that's what you went for. I went, should we turn your wife's life support machine off? You go, hold on. And you just get your knob out. What are you doing? Helping me make a decision.
I need to think straight.
That's so funny.
I tell you what, I'm going to try it lavers tonight.
You went ice cream, I went life support machine.
Hold on. Okay, Mr. Elliott, we're thinking, would you prefer a burial or a cremation?
Right, we can do chemotherapy or radiotherapy. Which?
Oh dear.
You're Prime Minister. Do we invade Iraq or not invade Iraq?
Sorry, Mr. Zelensky's on the line. He's looking a quick bit of advice. Excuse me, Vladimir, give me a second. Oh, now I'm thinking about Keir Starmer.
It's such bad advice. Oh, God.
Oh. Yeah.
How have you been?
Oh, it's too much. It's too much. Oh. Oh, I think and the last time you were on, I still think today that was the funniest bit of all time, was the bit about growing up watching boy bands and Bollywood music together, being so sad. But now these are the two. I'm going to take this bit, you do that bit. We'll try it tonight.
Absolutely gold mine.
This is going to be fun tonight. Because do you ever get that point whenever you're writing a bit, you're like, I don't want to talk about willies?
Yeah.
And something like this happens, and goes, no, I'm talking about willies.
You know what? It's funny shit.
It's happening.
It's funny shit. If it's funny, it's funny. But yeah, that's really funny. Not bad advice from people.
Yeah. Listen, you think better, you think clear. Go for it. All right.
But also, I think my favourite thing about the whole thing is you thinking about ice cream.
Yeah.
Also, what a choice! Rum and raisin or salted caramel. He didn't say vanilla or chocolate. Someone's heard it.
Strawberry or Parma violet. What are you going to go for? I think.
Fucking hell, someone's paid tax recently. Jeez.
What's tax?
Oh, God.
Oh, anyway. So, are you allowed to say what you're here to do? Are you? Because I don't actually know what you were doing. You were over to do something yesterday. You're filming, were you?
A voiceover. I'm
nice.
voiceover for a series called Pablo Boy Meets School, which is a CBBC series.
Oh, was that recorded in Hollywood?
Yeah.
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 Because there's going to be sound studio just down around the
Yeah,
corner.
Paper Owl.
Yeah.
And it's a really lovely thing. So it features. It's the first.
Sorry.
All right.
What is funny here? What we've just gone from.
No, because you haven't.
We're on to.
But you don't even know what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Because this series has won a number of awards.
Okay.
It's an animated series that features as a lead an autistic child. And this autistic child moves to a senior school, and I'm his teacher, Mr. Bird.
No. What's the child called?
Pablo.
So Mr. Bird's like, right, Pablo.
Do you want to do maths or science today? Oh, God. Oh.
Oh, so it's a beautiful series. Is it CBBC, is it?
Yeah, CBBC.
This is so bad that we're literally both in kids' TV shows in the next week or two.
It's so bad.
But anyway, hopefully kids don't watch this. This is for
don't watch it.
adults.
And,
This is just silly fun.
I recently appeared on Andy and the Band and other kids series, and I always keep getting casted as a teacher or a head teacher. When I did sex education, I was principal.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm being typecast as a teacher. And what's really funny is my brother's an actual teacher, and I get paid more to pretend to be a teacher than he does being a teacher, which I tell him all the time.
I bet he loves that.
He fucking hates it. But yeah, I don't know why I keep of all the typecasts that I thought I'd get in my career, there was another word beginning with T.
What was that?
Tea stall owner. Why? What were you thinking there, Dave?
I don't know. It's a talent.
It's a talent. Yeah.
I am
A tailor.
A tailor, yes. I get typecast as well, but as either hard creeps or perverts, or a combination of both.
But right.
Everything I have to do, all my auditions are either it's a way we can sort that out, or else not today, mate. You know, so
I can see you're good at that.
They're the two things. So that's why I'm trying at the minute to diversify.
Do you reckon you could do romance?
I mean, it would be an unorthodox tale of love for sure.
Hapless romantic.
Yeah, I mean, I could do the whole. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the worst thing about being an actor. You think you could do anything, and then you try it and you go, nah, probably not. You know, no. Like my worst thing, I get auditions and be like, can you do a Belfast accent? I can't, because I've got an accent slightly out of Belfast. Whereas
Do you? Yeah. I can't tell.
So Belfast me far more, I guess. No, I'm a bit rougher now. And I'm a bit sort of more like...
Why did you go more gay?
I don't know. I just excuse me. What are you trying to say? Trying to say it's my Belfast accent? Jesus. It's... Yeah, I just can't do that. And I can't do... What was another one I had to audition for recently and I just couldn't do it?
Indian.
American. Oh, I can do a killer Indian, but it's not allowed. It's not fair. You know, I can't do... All the great accents I can do, I'm not allowed to do. So mean. But I couldn't do American.
I'm going to ask you, which is your favourite non-white accent to do?
I actually it's one of these things where I do it in a bit as a Turkish kebab shop owner.
Oh, which you can pass off as.
Yeah, so that was the whole thing is about I have a bit in my set about going bald, being told I have to shave my head, and I have a bit about looking like, you know how you look in the mirror, you think you look like someone, and I sort of say like, I look like, what's that guy called, the dark hair and a dark beard, and he's big and all the women love him, like what's what? And someone shouts out Jason Momoa, and I go, no, it's Pavarotti, but close, that's Pavarotti.
Yeah.
And I say, when the hair comes off, I don't look like Pavarotti anymore. I'm bald, I look like Thanos. And I said, I don't mean Thanos from the Avengers. I mean any man called Thanos that works in a kebab shop.
Yeah, okay.
And so I do a turn around to pretend I'm cutting a kebab, and I go, do you want hot sauce bastard? Like that. And then when they do that, it's because I look exactly like
hot sauce garlic sauce.
I was Turkish.
One of my friend, I look after you.
So I always say, my friend, you get to ken, fuck you bastard. You know, that sort of.
Yeah.
I like to do that, but I think it works for the bit. So okay, but I've been told that I could be cast as anything from sort of Turkey across Eastern Europe, depending on whether I've got the tan or not. You know, so I could pass as a Turkish man if I've been on my holidays, and I could pass as Polish as well if I'm just bald with the hat off.
I think your features are too dark to be Polish.
Think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was in a thing at the start of the year. There
It could be Iranian, maybe.
Yeah, I could go. I could
Iran.
I could
Go
be,
from Iran.
I could be and I speak with I thought you meant like, I don't know what I was thinking. I said like Ukraine or something. I could be I thought maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I was in a thing at the start of the year. It was filmed in Prague, and it felt like it was. Do you ever get something that feels like you're being like pranked? I was like, this. I'm not in this with these two people. They're two serious actors that I wouldn't be involved with.
So what? Know? Like what was it?
It's like a new thing on Amazon Prime. It's sort of it's a comedy / action type thing, and it has a couple of big stars on it.
Oh, nice.
And they were filming in Prague, and I was like, why do they want me to go there? They could just find any man that looks like me in and around Prague. Like when I was on the set, one of the guys came over and he was like speaking to me in fluent Czech, and I was like, oh sorry, I don't speak that. And he goes, oh, I thought look at you that you were from here. I was like, no, that's the look. And then all the other guys that we're working with,
all the guys that
exactly
the
like
camera operators are like,
and they're like, who's this guy? I was like, I don't know, they brought me over from Ireland, I don't know why, it's weird, but that was great fun. I got a couple of days, went in, got fitted, and then had 2 days just hanging about Prague and then filming the last
Prague's
day
a really cool city.
It was a good time, so I'd like to do more of that.
And also, weirdly enough, the food in Prague is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised by how good the food was. I had one of the best kind of onion soups there I've ever had. I love an onion soup.
Yeah, onion soup is nice, but I find it weird. Do you, like, obviously being a comedian,
yes,
you travel a lot, do a lot of gigs yourself,
yes,
are you good with your own company other than in hotel rooms? Like, could you go out and have a bit of dinner, maybe go for a drink? Could you entertain yourself?
I could go for dinner, I could go for food by myself. I don't like going for a drink by myself.
Yeah,
because that feels like creepy to me.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I can't help but be creepy if I'm drinking by myself.
Yeah,
because if I'm drinking by myself, I know that I'd start being creepy.
Yeah,
even though I'm not creep.
Yeah, so
I
know what you mean. Hello.
Just sat at the end of the bar.
Yeah, do you come here often?
Yeah.
Yes, I've just came.
Yeah. Are you here alone?
Yeah. Or the old classic, like, can I get you a drink? You mistake the words in your head and go, you drunk yet? Oh, sorry. Slipped out. Oops.
Also, it's the rubbing of the knee I'm enjoying. It's the rubbing of the knees I'm enjoying.
Whoa.
Oh. Yeah.
But,
can you do that? Can you go for a drink by yourself?
I had to tell myself that thing, because so whenever I initially got to this job, I got a bit like guilty about like being away from my family a bit, and I was like, I don't know if I should be like out having fun, because maybe I was like, I should get my laptop out and do work, and I went, you know what, fuck it, I'm in Prague, I'm going to be normal. I'm going to go, I'm going to walk about, I'm going to see some things, I'm going to do touristy stuff. I looked up, like, so I like to go, if I'm anywhere, I like to try the local cuisine and food and stuff, rather than just going to generic spots. So I went and I got this nice like wee pastry with like sour cream, and it was delicious, and then a nice coffee, and I walked around, saw all the sights in Prague, and then I said on the way back...
You said you wanted to try the local food, and you got a pastry and coffee.
But the pastry wasn't like a cone pastry.
Okay.
I found it was called something else, and it's like
something Czech.
It was some sort of Czech pastiche or something. But I looked it up and went and they didn't speak English, and I liked that because I was able to communicate through that one and got it. So
you like it when they don't speak English.
Yeah, I do. You know what? Because I just think it's so.
They don't understand what you're saying to them.
Yeah, exactly, and I can go. I did it for us guys. So I find that when I'm there, like I think it's ignorant to just assume everyone can speak English. And I hate when you go places and you know the generic lager like.
Oh, I just start speaking Hindi to random people.
Yeah, they're like, no, I'm not having this. But I can't do that.
You're not allowed to anymore.
No, I just don't know the language.
Oh, okay. I was going to say ever since the incident.
Oh yeah, the incident. I don't know why I was going to make some sort of hand gesture. What is that even? Like, what's the incident? But no, I just think when you go somewhere and people are like, oh, you have to try this, and it's all the touristy stuff. I try to go slightly off the beaten track a wee bit, and then I think, you know what? And I had some Czech beer, and I had the nice wee Czech restaurant had some dumpling type stuff.
Yeah. The
nice.
dumpling stuff is good.
And then Arsenal were playing in the Champions League that night, I think, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to go to a bar and watch this. Football. And I ended up going to the bar and watching it with a Wolves fan. Just a random guy came and joined me. 2 creepy guys united in the bar, and it was a good time.
Oh, nice. Are you in touch with that guy?
No. Okay. Because he was a Wolves fan, but he was German, and I thought that was a weird thing.
Yeah, Wolves fan who's German.
Yeah, and then he was over for, what was he in Prague for?
In Prague by himself.
Yeah, but he was asking me for a good time as well. He's like, do you know anywhere after this for a good time? And I was just like, I'm sure there's a few bars down the road you'd have a good time in, you know? And I then more thought about it, I think he meant something maybe a little bit more
like
perverted.
Like sexual.
A good time, yeah.
Like naughty.
He's like, yeah. Do you know I never have, we can have some good times? Mein Herr.
Like, yeah, my good times.
It's like, yeah, sounds so good for me.
Yeah.
And then now he was doing like stuff under the table. I thought, I just leave now. But I felt nice about that. And I went back, only had a couple of beers, went home into bed, and then I was being picked up super early in the morning. But
wank before bed?
Oh, of course. You know, had to settle my thoughts, had some decisions to make.
Feet up against the wall?
No.
Oh,
no.
Oh, no, sorry.
I've not tried that.
Yeah.
Do you elevate yourself like up the way?
I'll put my feet up against the wall.
But your bum's on the ground still, I take it? Or on the bed?
On the bed.
Because, I mean, if your bum...
But my bum's on the pillow side.
Oh. There's a lot going on there. Like, how does... But then if you like, lift your bum up, you could be catching strays.
I've only ever, tasted my cum once.
Wow. I mean, and what was that context? Oh, my days.
I
just to try?
No. It was like, ooh, let me...
I see.
I just caught a stray, basically.
Uh-huh.
Mouth was open, and it just shot up.
Wow, we got it those days. Yeah. Mine just doesn't come out, actually.
Yeah, mine looks like mine's like a leak in a rock, basically. Just triple.
Being old's class. It's amazing. Like,
it's so funny, especially because I don't think men really grow up beyond the age of 16 ever.
No.
So we try and do everything the way we did when we were 16. You just can't anymore.
No, I still think you have that. And it's such a creepy thing to say, though. But I always say, like, the older I get, the younger I feel in the grand scheme of things.
Same.
You know, like, if I was 18 and I met someone my age, I'd be like, that's an old guy.
Yeah.
I'd be like, but really, I'm only a 30-year-old guy.
I was saying this to my brother the other week. So we get this when it's 12 degrees and a bit of sun is out, the ice cream van man comes round.
But do they do rum and raisin and
they do very classic vanilla and chocolate. But he's a Turkish guy called Mehmet, and I always get ice cream from him. I just get so excited. As soon as I hear the music, I'm out there to get the ice cream. And he called me Baba. He says, what do you want, Baba? And it makes me feel so nice, like I'm the 6-year-old, not 16. 6-year-old kid. But I've never really outgrown that.
Yeah. And has he been doing that for a while?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Him and his daughter, they sell ice cream.
That's a wholesome thing to do.
It's so wholesome.
I love that.
Like, you want your regular one? I'm like,
yeah,
I do.
And he was been served you from a child.
Yeah. And he's like, always nuts for you. You like nuts. He just keeps screaming, you like nuts.
Shut the fuck up, man. That's a different thing altogether. But no, I still think like it's men are just I think very simple creatures. The older I've got, the more simple I've got. Like now, I used to think my dad was a miserable guy because all he wanted to do was just sit by himself. And now I'm of that kind of age. I'm like, I get it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I was annoying. Like, Dad, can you come outside and play football? No.
It's that Patrice O'Neill bit where he talks about men want to be, they want to be what they want to. They don't want to be lonely, but they want to be left alone.
Yeah.
That's something like that where
Yeah.
he's just like,
Yes.
we want to know you're there,
Yeah.
but you want to be left alone.
Yeah. So you're in the house, but you're downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because my wife has a real thing about just creeping up on me, and I don't trust that at all. And now, like I've
Your wife has a thing about creeping up on me as well.
yeah, she's a creepy one. But you don't say anything about that because Andrew Ryan said something about my wife and it caused a storm.
Oh,
It caused a bloody storm.
well,
It was
maybe
a
your wife
furore.
should stop getting her.
You know what? She needs to be less sexy. To be fair, she does. And I don't know why I'm doing Trump arms. She needs to be less sexy, less beautiful. She does. You know, and and it's that thing too where people are like, I would find if we post a picture together or whatever, the amount of messages I get from people going like, "You're punching." I'm like, I know.
Yeah, but also that's a boring thing to say. We're all
Yeah.
punching.
Exactly.
Any woman who accepts us.
Yeah. Like I think yes, we're punching, yes, physically, but she is mentally deficient.
Yeah.
That's her. That's the balance. you know?
Boring. Uninteresting. Not funny.
Mentally unwell.
And mentally.
Yes, and that's
That's what I bring to the party.
yeah. And what do you? And then this is the thing. But she loves an opportunity to make a mockery of me. So people be like, it must be a load of fun living with a comedian. She goes, no, he's grumpy all the time. He's always, all he does is go walk around the house and sigh about stuff with his hands behind his back, looking for stuff to do and complain about.
Bad thing to do. Sighing.
Yeah.
Just looking at stuff going,
And then that's that thing again of catching yourself doing stuff where it makes you go, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
I remember once I got so annoyed about something. I went, oh, I kind of saw my reflection in the window. And then I went, what am I doing? I was like, looked at
gosh
myself,
darn it.
And then there's another time I was on a stag do and I was being sick into the cistern of a toilet, which is not nice, but there was someone being sick into the toilet. I was being sick into the cistern. Someone was being
Same
sick.
toilet.
Yes, someone's being sick onto the floor of the wet room.
What was this
And
stag?
another person was being sick into the sink in the wet room bathroom. It was in Amsterdam, and the boys aren't very good with the old, I'd say that the purple tarantula or whatever it was called
Yeah.
didn't go too well. But as I was being sick, we were all going, oh, and I was looking around everyone. It was really funny, and I started to laugh, but my face was so red, my eyes were bloodshot. And then I turned around to look at my mate being sick in the sink. It was like something in a horror film. I
What a
just caught
scene.
a look at my face in the mirror. I was like, look at this disgrace. And then I was like, we need to. And then I had to, again, back to shoveling the boat out of the cistern into the toilet. And that was the only way to do it because it's disgusting to leave a cistern full of vomit.
No, but then surely you just flush it and it would just come out the toilet anyway.
But I didn't realise that. So it was all floating to the top. So I was trying to just, again, the chunks, it was sieved out.
Sorry, in 20 minutes we've talked about you shoveling your own vomit twice.
Yeah, it's a habit. That's why now at this age, I'm like, you know what? It's maybe not worth me drinking anymore.
Are you going to retire from drinking?
But
Well, I mean, you could just not drink to the point where you have to do that.
the thing about it is,
It's hard.
it's hard to do that. Do you ever find that when you're drinking and it's a good time, and everyone's having a good time,
Yeah.
and you don't want the good time to end, and
No,
you know
you
it'll
don't.
not be worth it in the long run, but it's such a good time.
Because you also don't know how many good times you've got left
Exactly.
as you get older.
No, and it's deep, but you don't know, and it's
One day you can have your last pint, you went, it's going to be your last pint.
and like that night was my last Buckfast.
Was it your last ever
It
Buckfast?
was because I had my last ever before, and it was that thing.
Sick, yeah.
Anyway, it's like I don't remember my
No, but
last
what,
ever.
the thing with Buckfast days, once you get the little sip of it, you kind of want to
Yeah,
carry on because it's sweet and
yeah,
delicious and blackcurranty.
and it just gives you like energy. It
And
releases the
yeah.
dragon every time.
Yeah,
and-
every time the dragon just wakes.
but then you think, who makes it? Those monks, those fucking sadistic
Yeah.
monk Christian bastards. I know they're wee bare feet. Just
Barefoot.
do you reckon they know what they're at? They're like, I know they can.
It's all the foot stuff power. Because are you into feet?
No, actually, I'm not.
Yeah, I've never been into feet.
No, the feet have never been a thing for me. And I think having the feet that I have is a reason behind that, maybe.
Although there have been times where I've taken a toe in my mouth.
Really?
Yeah. Not my own toe.
Yeah. While you're wanking in a hotel room. Wanking underneath the leg.
Also, you told me a crazy story about your knob getting caught in a toilet seat.
Yeah, I mean-
Earlier when you were a kid.
'Cause you-
How big is your dick?
It's not big,
How did it get caught then?
but whatever way, I must have been sitting too far forward, just not have my bum on the, the wee like back in the day, we used to have these plastic contraptions that hooked around the toilet and freshened the toilet.
Yeah.
And I had tried to sit on that, but then avoid that. So I lifted the seat to avoid that, and then it had my willy just sat in the bowl, and I sat on it, and it was just horrendous.
Sometimes, when I wake up with morning glory and I go to have a shit in the morning, and my knob hits the toilet seat, I feel quite proud of myself.
Yeah,
because I'm like, it reaches.
Yeah,
because most days it doesn't. It's just.
Yeah, no, I've never heard that.
Are your balls bigger than your penis when it's flaccid?
Yes.
Yeah, same.
Yes, my balls are large.
Oh, fucking huge.
Balls. Yeah,
Welcome, sign up to Patreon.
They're big balls, don't worry about it, you'll see it all over there. But no, I had the really humbling moment whenever I was in the shower one day. My 7-year-old, she must have been about 3 or 4 at the time. I was in the shower while she was in the toilet, and she walked in and she was in the toilet. You can sort of see her looking at me going, and I was like, "You alright?" And she goes, "Yeah." And she's still looking. I sort of going, "What's she doing?" She goes, "Dad." I went, "Yes, Holly." She goes, "Do girls have twinkles?" I went, "Yeah, they do." "Do the boys have winkies?" And I went, "Yeah, they do." She goes, "But you're a boy." I went, "Yeah. So why do you have a twinkle?" And I thought, for start, very cold today, and heated up, and whatever. And I think maybe daddy's not sponsored by Manscaped, so maybe
that's the issue.
But she was like looking, going like, and you could sort of see her wee mind going, and I knew she didn't mean to insult me.
Yeah, she's just confused because she catchphrase, say what you see.
Exactly, if
say
you see it, yeah. And she said that.
See it, say it, sorted.
And after that, I was like, I need to get a penis enlarger. Like, not lose weight. I need to get a penis.
Yeah,
pump
to
make it bigger. That was
Do you reckon they work? I don't think they work.
No, but then do you see these dudes that, like, they're always in these, like, Channel 4 documentaries where they inject, like, serum into it, and then it's just not a functional. It's large, but it's weirdly out of shape. And bulbous,
yeah.
I don't get all that stuff.
No, I don't get all that stuff either.
And, like, see people do it with their biceps with the synthol in it.
Yes.
And it's like, it doesn't look like you've worked out. It just looks weird.
Weird, yeah. That's weird. I'm as I get older, I appreciate my penis even more.
Yeah, as I get older, I'm just happy to be here still.
Yes,
that's why I look at it.
Honestly, the number of days I wake up and I go, another day where I've somehow blagged life.
Yeah,
I do not look after myself at all.
Yeah, no, I think the more you get older, the more you things start to. You go, okay, I need to, because my wife's a nurse and she's not shy in telling me that you need to lose weight or you'll die. And I was like, okay, so. Whenever she's like everything, she goes, "Have you ever seen a fat old person?" I went, "Well, no, I actually don't think I have." She goes, "Well, there you go. So any problem you have, lose weight. So now I'm at the age of like blood pressure, diabetes, all that. I'm like, oh.
Have you ever seen a fat old person? Yeah, I've seen fat old people. Italians.
Yeah, but I don't
think
I have.
Well, how are you defining old though?
I think old's gotta be like
80 plus.
Yeah, 80 plus. I don't think I've really.
Have you ever seen a fat 80-year-old?
I don't think so. And then, like, I had an aunt who was quite heavy. But then,
how big was this aunt?
But it lived in a mold, but in the back then. But she was big. I remember when I was a kid. But then she was probably only in her 40s or 50s. But then in her 80s, like when she died in her 90s, she was really thin. So just I don't know what happens. But
let nature take the weight off you.
Yeah, I should do that. But then nature will be like, actually, 40 heart attack, my friend. Enjoy, but. So, and then like I look at Tony Soprano when The Sopranos started, he was 35.
Yeah,
and you go, wow, that's not.
How old are you now?
38.
38.
Yeah, and then like I look at people now who, I think footballers are a big thing. Like when you got to the point where you were an old footballer, like everyone's like Luka Modric is about the only footballer who's older than me now. And you sort of go, and then you have that weird thing. Like I'm a big Arsenal supporter and have been from when I was a kid, and. Now, like, it's always the wife. Why do you like those young boys? Like, why can you support the young boys? Like, I get when you're growing up and they're older and they're idols, but now you're older than them all. Like, she said to me the other day, that guy plays for Arsenal, the young guy. And I was like, which one? She goes, Lewis Skelly, him. Yeah. Because you could be his dad. I went, no, I couldn't. And she goes, no, well, what is he, 18 or 30? You could easily be his dad. You could actually be, you could be Bukayo Saka's dad. I'm like, wow. Okay, well now I feel old, but that's the one thing that you can't change. Like Declan Rice, I love him. I love him. I love Saka. I didn't love Saka when he hit that penalty, but I normally do.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is football. Just let us have football.
Yeah.
Let us support the young boys.
Yeah.
Let us scream at them.
Yeah.
When they're not playing well.
Yeah.
While we're sat there
Yeah, judging them.
judging them.
Yeah. Like Martinelli, God love him, he's the one that I'm like, just if you an end product.
Yeah. I'm like that with
Yeah.
Garnacho. I'm a United fan. Garnacho is 19 years old.
But you must feel really weird being a United fan right now. Because it's like, in the league, the worst, but in Europe, like that night.
Ridiculous.
Harry Maguire, wow, what a moment that
legend.
was.
What a legend. The thing is, United, look, I had a good childhood.
Yes.
I had a very good childhood being a United fan. Last 10 years, actually, coincidentally, since my mum died, United have been shit. And I think there's something to do with that. Now, my mum's never coming back. So I don't know if United are going to be shit forever.
Yeah.
And also, you can't tell me that Amorim, Ten Hag, Van Gaal, Mourinho are all bad managers.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with the club. Massively.
See, I think there's similarities between Arsenal after Wenger and Man United, because the club was a disaster. And then they needed 4 or 5 transfer windows to get all the shit out.
Yeah.
But what do you think of the new vision for the future of United? That weird stadium. It's like a tent.
It's very odd. And also the fact that they announced that the same week they made redundancies.
Yeah.
You just go, did you not have a communications advisor helping you with this? Because that's insane.
It's bad form, isn't it? Yeah. Listen, you guys are fired, but what we're going to do is make a 100 billion pound stadium.
Yeah, the best stadium the country's ever seen. Yeah, let's do that. I know United is. I just hate the fact that Liverpool are winning.
I know. I hate it too. I hate the way they've won it too. Stupid VAR decisions and stupid. And then that goal at the weekend against Leicester through the goalkeeper. Like, what?
Yeah, but it's so tepid as well. So boring.
Yeah, but this is the good thing. We all know the league's boring this year, so we don't care. We just support Europe. Yeah. That's a European front. Let's go. Let's get United.
It would be
Arsenal
great though if we finished 17th and made the Champions League.
That'd be hilarious.
I would honestly love that.
Yeah,
so much.
Because then that's all.
I died on that for a long time.
I would say so. Because at the end of the day, too, winning a European trophy, I would say if United win the Europa League, that would eclipse Liverpool winning the league. I think. I think you get a lot of mileage out of that. Yeah. And if Arsenal won the Champions League, be like, we don't care. Sure, we won the Champions League.
So, what do you think? You can do? I mean, you got past the big boy.
You know what? I think we have a chance. I didn't think we had a chance.
But once you beat Real Madrid, it's possible.
But yeah, and I think we know PSG are much better now. But when we played them in the group stages, I thought Arsenal were much better than PSG. Much better. And beat them 2-0, pretty straightforward. No real stress.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask Liverpool fans, would they take the Champions League or the Premier League?
Yeah. They'd say the Premier League, wouldn't they?
They probably would, yeah, because...
Yeah, they've won the Champions League. Arsenal never won the Champions League.
Never won the Champions League.
And I remember crying in a bar watching Arsenal.
When you lost to Barcelona.
It was the worst, just after Liverpool.
And Henry did that mad interview afterwards.
Yeah. He wasn't in good form that day.
Yeah.
No, but looking back on it, it was a disgrace.
It was a disgrace.
It was a disgrace. But
the funniest disgrace was Barcelona Chelsea.
Oh.
When Drogba was doing all that to the camera.
That was brilliant. It's a fucking disgrace.
It's a fucking disgrace.
But that was wild, that game.
That game.
Yeah.
Everyone could see what was going on. Yeah. Everyone was like, this feels like a fix.
Yeah. Totally. And the fact that I do also hate Chelsea. And at the time I was like, I don't even hate them that much. I feel like at the minute I hate Liverpool the most.
I've always hated Liverpool Football Club. I
They're
love the city, I love the people, but the football club.
Yeah, and their fans are annoying.
But I think Arsenal fans are more annoying than Liverpool fans.
Fan TV is, I'll give you that.
Arsenal fan TV
I think that's the worst thing to happen to Arsenal in years.
Yeah.
Those guys make it hard to, because at the end of the day, I don't think Arsenal are as good as the fan TV expect them to be.
Yeah.
Really. And I think, like in the years whenever we were Banter FC with David Luiz and Socrates at the back, and they're like, oh, we should be winning late. No. We'd be lucky to get in the top half.
Yeah.
Ball, you know?
It's the same with Mark Goldbridge in United. I think he's been a curse.
Oh, fucking hell.
Oh, fucking hell.
He was, I must say, though, I did enjoy watching him after the game against Leon. That was good fun.
Oh, I didn't see him.
It was worth watching because we are shit. And they've fucking blown it again. And then there was one more, and then when Maguire scored, he just lost his mind. It was great.
Yeah. No. United are
you never know. United could be back.
It all depends on this transfer window.
Yeah.
If he can get rid of a few players.
Who are you getting rid of? Give me 5.
Casemiro.
Yeah. But he's a wee bitch, though, because some days it'd be like a Rolls Royce.
I know, but it's just the cost of him.
Yeah. Oh, he's dear, isn't he?
Rashford. I think for his sake,
he
needs to go. and there's an argument for most of the players. I'll tell you who I'd keep.
Okay.
I'd keep Onana.
You would?
Yeah, I think Onana gets a lot of bad. I think part of it is because he's a black goalkeeper, and there aren't very many.
Yeah.
There's Shaka Hislop, Taffarel, and him.
Dida as well.
Oh, Dida.
Dida was a legend.
Dida was a legend. So I think I'd keep Onana because he's a good shot stopper, and I think he'll come good.
But I think the problem with him was because of the way they ditched De Gea, and he was a legend, and they were just like, "That's me." And
De Gea's not found another club yet, has he?
He's Fiorentina.
Oh yeah, Fiorentina, of
Fiorentina,
course.
yeah.
And he's by all accounts
Yeah, doing great.
doing great.
Yeah. But that was a whole Ten Hag thing, wasn't it? And I think, no, he's going. You're like,
Yeah. Keep Cobby. Garnacho, I'm still 50-50 on because his end product, but maybe he could become someone worth keeping. And then we're kind of struggling a bit.
Yeah. Would you keep Big Harry Maguire? Yeah, just because he's classic, isn't he? And he's decent. He's been good.
Yeah, he's been good, and his story arc is great as well. Do you know what?
Yeah.
The redemption arc is pretty good with Harry.
Yeah.
But we need to find some. I want someone who isn't that good at football necessarily, but is a leader on the pitch.
Yeah.
That's what we don't have.
Yeah.
We don't have someone shouting at the players.
Yeah, you need a hard. I think that's all teams need to have a hard centre.
Who's is Odegaard? No.
No, Rice and Partey are probably but the defence, Saliba and Gabriel are great.
Yeah.
But I'll be sad to see Thomas Partey go. I think they're just letting his contract run down.
Gabriel's teeth, I can't take him seriously.
Yeah, but see, he joined Arsenal with no teeth and bald, and now he's got these sweet teeth and a full head of hair. Unbelievable.
You're not ugly, you're just not rich.
Yeah, exactly. Like do you remember during COVID whenever they had the player? They just got back into training, and Aubameyang, like he's got that HD haircut.
Yeah.
But he wasn't able to get that done, and that was an interesting sight. Like the hair just starting here, and it was wild. He must have been.
Well, Salah's the other one, isn't it? Salah's.
Oh yeah, his is back, isn't it? Like he was
back.
Yeah, I hate him too now. He's been too good. It's just hard.
It's ridiculous, isn't it, Salah? Like how? Yeah.
Because he was so shit at Chelsea, like so shit.
But I remember weirdly there was this interview I read years ago with Mido.
Yeah.
And Mido was saying
Wizard.
there was one player to come out of North Africa that you need to watch is Mohamed Salah. This was fucking years ago. It's come good.
And he had one other one recently, and he was like, "You need to watch this guy, Marmouche." That's who it was.
Marmouche looks the business.
And he looks good.
He looks the business, I have to say.
Yeah, they'll be good. This is the only reason I'm sad that Arsenal didn't win the league this year, because I think City will be back with bells on next year, and they'll be with all the money, and they'll buy everybody. And
never they mind. Oh, I like that turning into a football podcast.
Yeah, this is what the people love here.
What a shift!
Football, and comedy, but more. Let's get back to comedy. Is that what they want tonight? You're in Lavery's.
I am in Lavery's. My first time there.
We gigged before in a bar that's now been shut. I don't know if that's connected to the fact that we had it was a weird one. Remember, it was a really open bar, and people were just in it, and it was like in the centre of town. Filthy McNasty's.
Oh, Filthy McNasty's, yeah.
That was it ended up being all right in the end, but it could have been an absolute stinker. But no, Lavery's should be good fun tonight.
Yeah, I've never done Lavery's before. I'm really looking forward to it.
I think Lavery's is, and you did the Empire last night.
I did the Empire.
How did it go?
Really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a few people messaged me afterwards saying that they really loved it. It was really packed, which I think helps in that room. I'd done Lavery's. I'd done Empire once before years ago and died on my hole, and it was empty at the time.
Yeah.
But I had a really good one. So hopefully we'll see. I don't even know how long I'm doing. 20? Is it 20?
Probably 15, 20, I'd say. Yeah.
15, 20.
Yeah.
Okay,
last time I did the Empire was in February 2017. Not that I remember.
Not that you're counting the days.
But you know what? I as I've said many times, I'm open to the call up if they wish.
Yeah.
To have me back.
You know where he is.
Go back. I'd love to go back.
Yeah.
Because it is a great club.
It is a great. Yeah.
And no, Lavery's is good at the minute. Like it's.
But also, is Lavery's a pretty new comedy club then?
It isn't, but it has become the best club. I think I think
in Belfast.
It has gone from being. It's always been good. Like I think it's been the club that's kind of our generation. I think it's kind of it came in when we were all kind of starting maybe about 10 years ago, and it sort of has been hit or miss, and then maybe in the last 5-10 years, or like 5 to 6 years, it's really established itself. And
what do you think? Because the Belfast scene, when you're on the mainland UK or whatever, you look to Belfast scene, Liverpool scene, you go, "This is fucking great what you guys have built." What do you think has made the Belfast scene over the last 5 to 6 years really become what it's become? what you guys are doing at the SSE and shit like
I
that?
think it's a mixture of things. I think having obviously podcasts and being able to put your own content out. I think Northern Ireland's historically been very much controlled by limited time on BBC. Like BBC Northern Ireland would have had maybe one panel show, one sitcom, and maybe the odd thing for new talent. There was never anything to really develop people, and there was limited clubs. You know, you'd have had the Empire would have been the big one, and you would have had a few ones here and there scattered about the place, but they never would have lasted any length of time.
Yeah.
And I think people being able to kind of promote themselves and be able to gig more has just helped. And then I think there's definitely, like, the scene's not very, it's not very backstabby, you know, it's not very bitchy. People tend to, you know, work together well.
Yeah,
and I think
you all kind of do
helps.
each other's pods and stuff.
Yeah, and I think that massively helps. And I think, now what I will say is I think we obviously have established the scene, but I think maybe there's been a wee bit of taking it for granted a bit in the last wee while. And I think, like, I did a couple of gigs there with Andrew Ryan over at the Stands, and I was like, oh yeah, maybe we could craft it a bit more, you know, maybe work a wee bit harder, because that was an eye opener being there. And it was like, and I loved it, but I was like, yeah, I think we can.
Yeah, this is very interesting, because I had Dan Nightingale open for me at the Hackney Empire when I did my talk show there, and it's not his fault, but the first 10 minutes they weren't giving him anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually got them, because Dan's a brilliant comedian and has been doing it for a long time. And afterwards we spoke, and he said, actually having Have a Word and the scene in Liverpool, it spoils you a bit, because you do gigs where people know who you are, or they're excited to see you, and then you forget that there's a scene outside of that where you've still got to be a good comic.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? That's very interesting.
But I think that's it too, and because people maybe see you on podcasts, or see they know you, and maybe they like you as a person,
Yeah.
and maybe you get given a bit of grace,
Give you
at the
a bit more, yeah.
you know. And I think when you go to somewhere new, like, you have to almost be able to take, like, obviously if you're gigging in London, you know, all the sort of the wee local colloquial things you can say and references for here and there. Same with here.
Yeah.
And then if you go, you're like, oh, you don't have that way. Oh, you're from Lauren Hall. You know, you can kind of
Yeah.
pull on that a bit. And I think that's what I want to personally do a bit more, is to learn and go places and be able to do it. And there's nothing better, I think, when you go to somewhere outside your comfort zone and you do well. You're like, actually, I'm all right at this. You know, it's a nice,
100%.
that's a cool thing. And like, even when I did my last tour, I just did Northern Ireland, and the promoter had put me in a few places that I didn't even know there were places to do. And I said, I want to do here, here, and here. And he went, well, what about these places? And I was like, oh, now he's been promoting for 40 odd years. And I thought, you know, what's he doing to me here? And then when I was doing that, I was like, this is why he's been doing this for 40 years. He knows these places. He knows if you go and have a good show, they'll come. And it was brilliant. I loved it. That was the first tour I've done that I've gone, I loved that.
Right.
And
what number tour was that?
that would have been, I think, my third. Again, that was the most dates. And I think I did 15. Out of the 15, half of them sold out and the other half didn't. But rather than going, oh, it's a disaster, they didn't sell out, I went, let's go and do as good a show as we can, and then hope next time, like the old school route. I think almost because you can do your promotion on social media, and you forget maybe about people who don't have social media, or who like the traditional approach. And I've been lucky enough to do a few gigs with like older comedians and like more like Tim McGarry I did tour support with, and I did Colin Murphy a few dates with, and just to see how they do it, just by the show is the main thing, the material. I was like, right, no matter what, the material's king. You have to work on that.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, you can have all the followers in the world, but if your material's shit or your performance isn't good, they're not going to come back.
Yeah, and that was like, I remember when I did the first date with Tim, it was like, I also need to tailor my set to be able to do an older crowd, or to be able to. And then I think that's one of the things I like about comedy is when you can figure it out. You know, and you can know yourself. I've done this wrong, but you know what you've done wrong. You know how to figure it out, rather than if you go up and go, I don't know what happened there tonight.
Yeah. It's constantly, and you're constantly evolving as well. And like with me, the tour that I do, because I have my audience come from such a diverse range of places. You know, you get a QI mock the week crowd, you get the have a word laddie crowd, you get like the Muslim crowd, you get the Asian crowd. There's a real disparate nature of my material. So in some ways, it's a bit to my detriment, because it's hard to market me. Like, I don't know. I'm like, I get on with everyone. Yeah. So it's hard to know what it is. So now that this tour's finished, I'm trying to work out what that thing is, just honing on one thing.
Yeah. See that, like, in a similar vein, I after the last tour, I want to write new stuff that's not just about slagging my wife and kids. That's you know what people will be.
But they're so slaggable though.
I know, and then they keep doing stuff like
Yeah.
my
It's their
4-year-old.
fault.
I was doing a poo the other day, and the upstairs toilet was busy. I was in the downstairs toilet, thought it was free. The wee one came downstairs like, Daddy, I really need to go to the toilet. And I'm like, you need to go to the toilet every time I need to go to the toilet. You don't really need to go to the toilet. She went, I really do need to go to the toilet. And I go, how much do you need to go to the toilet? She went, this much, and then handed me a poo. I was like, oh, she had pooed into her hand. That she really. The boy that cried wolf I'd fallen for it, and I felt awful. I had to get up, and then I had to shovel her poo from it more. And then it's like, I've experienced.
Do you know what? The
that.
Elliott family and the way they use their hands as shovels for their own shit and vomit is quite impressive.
It is. It is so bright.
A life skill.
But she is the best.
And
But
you're
also,
like, that's my daughter.
but she's so funny. And then I'm like, you need to stop being so funny, because I don't want to just keep harping on about you.
You just,
Stop. And she did something with your 4-year-old I thought was the smartest thing I've ever seen a 4-year-old do. She swore, and obviously has heard us use this swear word, but turned it into something that we couldn't tell her off about. Something happened to her. I don't know, she dropped something, and she went, Jesus. And Matilda, you can't, don't say that. And she went, was born on Christmas Day, Christmas Day, Christmas Day.
Well played.
Jesus was born on Christmas Day. And I was like, wow, that's and it
For
was
a
hilarious.
4-year-old?
Oh, genius. Yeah, so it was great. So I'm gonna try some new stuff tonight. I'm gonna try a thing about making decisions after a wank. That's the highbrow stuff you're getting tonight. Yeah, so I'm gonna figure that out.
and maybe you can talk about other people's kids and wives.
Yes, maybe I'll do that. But then I did this other thing once where I spoke about an ugly kid.
An ugly kid.
An ugly. I said one of my mates has an ugly kid. Now what you do, you know yourself, you take bits of certain things and make it into one story.
Yeah.
And I have a child in mind when I said that.
Yeah, of course you do.
Then take other elements. But then I had a mate of mine had texted me and was like, "Oh,
Don't talk about my kid."
but it was like, yeah, it's someone I work with. Is you saw you at Lavery's last time? You were talking about my kid. And I was like, hold on. I didn't say anything. It wasn't.
That's worse of him.
And I was like, I wasn't actually even thinking about your kid when I did it.
And now that you mentioned it, I'm going to add that kid.
And I was like, you know what? It's
Also, imagine that kid finding out that the dad thought
Yeah.
you were talking about him.
yeah. But then when you pointed it out, I'm like, actually, to be fair, yeah, fair point. But in that moment, I was like, no, I wasn't even thinking about that.
That's so funny.
Yeah, but then you just overthink it, and then you just have to hope for the best. So
The thing is also, like, we were talking about this earlier, offences taken, not given.
yeah,
I fundamentally believe that. Like, you could say things to me about my dead mother. If I'm not offended by it,
yeah,
but people just choose to get offended by stuff for no reason.
yeah.
This guy's just gone, you didn't mention the kid. You go, why are you talking about my ugly kid? And you're like, why are you calling your kid ugly?
Yeah, yeah, but that is so it. Like, there's a bit, I can't remember who it was. Maybe Steve Hughes did the bit about like years ago. This was before everything else.
yeah.
Yeah, but it was like, it's okay to be offended. You can be offended.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like, boy bands offend him. And I was like, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
But it's and then it is that thing where you mean it. Like, and I don't think I would say anything mean on purpose, and unless it is about an ugly kid. To be fair,
Yeah.
which they deserve it.
And also stop having ugly kids.
I know people see that is a thing that does happen though, when people have kids. Like, oh, look, there's my, and you're like, oh no,
Oh no.
is that a child or a Shar-Pei dog? I don't
Yeah,
know
what's happened
going
there?
on.
I hope it has a glow up. Which is also a weird thing to say about a kid.
Yeah. But you will be okay. And you'll be like, I'm sure he looks like he's got a wonderful personality. And you're like, he's 3 days old.
I'm sure he's very intelligent.
Yeah. Just like his family. Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know where I'm going or what I'm going to do, but tonight's going to be a new bit of fruit around the
Yeah, interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I'm just going to go in with like strong stuff, I think.
Yeah, I'm not but you're here and you were working on Monday, and today you're kind of I
was working on Tuesday.
Tuesday, you gig last night, and now you're gig tonight. But are you going to have a wee bit of socialness around?
Yeah, I'll
today?
do a bit of social stuff.
Of...
I'm always up for a few jars. Always. Nice. I had a few beers yesterday with Martin Angolo and J.S. Staunton.
Oh, nice.
We've sunk good 8 or 9 pints of Guinness.
Nice. In the Empire too, they've good Guinness.
Yeah, it was very nice. Very nice and creamy. Had some really good chat. So that's nice. So yeah, I've got a couple of friends in Belfast. You'll know Naomi and Mick.
Yeah, you're meeting them now. What time are you meeting them? Or?
Probably meet them after this. Yeah,
Yeah, well, I can drop you to them and then.
that'd be very
I'll go
nice.
home.
I want to
Yeah.
get some food, to be honest.
Yeah.
What is like the Belfast food to get? Don't say boojum.
No, I'm not a fan, but
I'm not a big fan of burritos either.
no, I think I'm stubborn. I've said this before, but if everyone goes crazy about something, I often think
Yeah.
it's not going to be that good.
I agree.
A lot of basic people like basic things. And
Yeah, I agree.
and I like flavors.
Yeah, rich flavors.
I know the most quintessential thing's probably the Ulster fry, which is a breakfast thing.
Yes.
So you can get all day fry somewhere. Maggie Mays is good on the
I know Maggie
Pittsburgh
Mays.
Road. They do a nice fry. If you can get somewhere an all day fry, it's good. I live in Bangor, so I live
In
down
Wales,
by the
it's quite far.
sea. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an absolute
Long
fucking
commute.
pain in the arse. See for the school run, the
Fucking-
orange.
oh, on a boat and everything.
It's a bollocks, and the Irish Sea is not a friendly ocean.
No friends, yeah.
But down there, it's like great pubs, great restaurants down there, great
Right.
food down in Bangor, down the peninsula, seafood, love it.
Oh,
So it's a good spot. Great pizzerias down there as well, lovely. But Belfast, I'm a bit out of the loop. But if St George's Market's open, you get good like Belfast Baps in there and breakfast things, and it's nice.
Okay.
But then it's normally only open on Friday, Saturday, I believe. So
right.
what I would do, I would just go down in around the Cathedral Quarter, maybe look for
Right.
some food around
Yeah.
there. Some bars are always good down there, and just see what happens.
Yeah, no, I want to eat some because this trip the food has been. I haven't really enjoyed it very much.
And what has been your issue? You said on tea with me you had a problem with a Chinese meal you had, and then with a pizza. Was it? What
The
was
Chinese meal I had, I asked for chili oil.
Uh-huh.
I said the woman served me the chicken fried rice that I ordered, and I
Uh-huh.
said, "Excuse me, do you have any chili oil?" And she looked at me like I said, "I'm about to take a shit into this chicken fried rice and chuck it in your fucking face, you stupid bitch. Go back to China."
Yeah.
That's what she thought I said to her.
Which is what I say when I order.
Yeah,
Chinese food,
yeah.
right?
And then she kind of like grunted, walked off. I waited 5 minutes. There was no chili oil coming my way at all. So I ate this chicken fried rice, which was a bit coagulated. It wasn't the best. And then I finished my meal. Well, I actually didn't finish the meal. And then she looked at me and then she said, she was staring at me the whole time. And she said, "You not like?"
Yeah.
And I went, I wanted chili oil to
Yeah.
enhance the flavour. She goes, you want me get?" And I was like, I wanted it half an hour ago, but now I've got to do a set
Yeah.
across the road. She goes, "You throw?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." She goes, "Very bad, wasteful, very bad." And I was like, "Well, it wasn't very nice.
No.
The chili oil would have helped."
Yeah, but not very bad.
And then I walked out, and she was just like shaking her head at me. It was such a weird experience.
But you know what? Do you ever find like I respect people who are just so rude that you have to laugh?
Yeah.
Like you have to just go, well, wow. You have to tip your
Yeah.
hat to her because she's just setting her ways, and that's what you're getting.
One of my favourite. There was this. In Belfast, do you get those immigrant car washes?
Oh, yeah.
I love them.
The guys, yeah.
Oh, the illegal people
Polish,
traffic car.
Yeah, the Polish guys love it. over
Yeah, I
there.
tell you what, those people traffic car washes,
Uh-huh.
they're fucking good. There's a lot of
Oh, yeah.
traffic there.
Why do they always brand as American car wash though? Like, is that a style of car wash?
It's the same. I think it's the same reason they've got like American candy stores.
Oh yeah.
It's like a front because American gives them legitimacy.
Oh yes, of course. So just it's money laundering.
Yeah, it's money laundering, right? So basically, we had one of these people traffic car washes. Fucking loved it. 15 quid, get everything done. I could shout at them, hit them every so often. But behind it, there was this Caribbean takeaway, and I love Caribbean food. So I would go every other day to the car wash as a ruse to go into the Caribbean restaurant, right? And I saw the same guy serve me every single time. On the sixth visit, right? Sixth visit, I thought, you know what? I'll build a bit of rapport with this guy. He's seen me 6 times. We're going to be friends. So I looked at him and I said, "Oh, what's good today?" Because he looked at me and goes, "Everything good every day." And I was like, "Yeah, I suppose that's true." He goes, "Why, you not like it? The last 5 times you don't like it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm really sorry. Curry goat, please."
And did he just stare at you and he put it in?
Yeah, just,
Yeah.
"You want to warm up?" I was like, "Yeah, I do want to warm up."
And have you been back to see him again?
It finished. They're so. I went to this another Caribbean takeaway. I don't know what I'm talking about the Caribbean, but they do festival and they do dumpling. They're two slightly different things. I said, "Can I get festival? Can I get dumpling?" He goes, "No." And I said, "Why?" He goes, "You can't have both." I was like, "But I want both." He goes, "No, you can't have both." I'm like, what? Is there a rule? I don't understand. What's the rule? He goes, "No too many cabs." And I'm like, what?
He's judging you on top of it all.
You can't. Went to a Ghanaian wedding. Beautiful buffet. I'm adding everything on my plate. Got to the fufu section. Do you know what fufu is?
No.
Fufu is like this.
I thought fufu was a...
They were just lying there. I'll take that one, please. But fufu is like this doughy ball yummy. I don't know, something. Says, can I have fufu? He goes, no. I went, what? He goes, you can't have it with this. I was like, what? Why not? He goes, no, I'm not giving it to you. You need to have it with soup. And I was like, all right, I have soup. He goes, no, you can't have soup as well. And I'm like, why are people judging my food choices in public?
They're like working out the macros for dry.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Went to this local restaurant called Thai. I don't know where this is all coming from. Therapy. Went to a place called Thai and Pie. They do Thai food and pies.
They don't combine the both.
No, they do some of them. Some you can get a Thai pie. Went in and I wanted a pie. A steak and ale pie. Guy goes to me, no, you don't want that. And I went, what? And he goes, you don't want a steak and ale pie? I'm like, no, I literally, I want a steak and ale pie. He goes, no, what you want is this. And he ordered me, and he looked at me and goes, very spicy, you'll love it. I didn't love it. And it wasn't very spicy. And I didn't have a steak and ale pie.
That's the worst when they give you, because you, especially if you specifically know you want this.
Yeah.
Like, nah, this is what you have.
One of my big bugbears is when, like, I'm with someone and they ask the waiter what's good.
Yeah.
I don't know the waiter from Adam.
Yeah.
I know what the waiter likes or doesn't like. Why am I getting a recommendation from this fucking waiter? But then they go, oh, because they would have tried the food. I'm like, yeah, but they're going to try and sell you the one with the biggest markup.
Yeah.
Why am I asking the waiter at Nando's, what do you recommend?
Bring out the chef that put the menu together, please. Thank you. Which is the most flavoursome of everything. Yeah. But no, speaking of Nando's, actually, there was a rude guy working in Nando's, came because obviously they just lift your plate. And like when we came to bring like the food down, he was like
just dropping it.
And we were like, oh, this guy's a bit fucking. And then when he came to collect the plates, well, I was there with William Thompson, and he lifted my plate because I was closer to him, and William was across the table, and he went.
But the waiter did.
And William was like, all right, and then he can.
Oh shit!
And he went away, and William and the two of us, we were wetting ourselves. Like, this guy is so ignorant, but it's brilliant, you know.
That's fucking great. I kind of like the Nando stuff having attitude. That's funny.
But then he looked like he just, I don't even know what the story with him was. He just didn't look like he was
happy.
Yeah, I must admit, but that made our night.
It's when they say, have you ever been to Nando's before? I want someone to say, no.
No, what is
Please explain.
Yeah.
The concept of this place.
Because then, what we'll go after this, but the wee thing that they leave in Nando's, you know, they come and ask you, how is everything, and they take that away. What's the significance of that?
I think it's to say the table's been taken in case you go for an order, maybe.
Right, okay.
I don't know.
Because, I don't know, Aaron McCann has a theory about that it was like some sort of just, they have to ask you if it's good, and if it's good, they take it. But then it's like, but why? What does it?
And what happens if you say no?
Do they leave it? I don't know. I've never said no. It's always been solid in Nando's.
I think we should go to Nando's and just say no to everything.
Yeah. I've never been here before. Explain.
The one I hate is when you go to a small Pret or something, you buy a bottle of water and they say eating or take away. Yeah. And you go, it's a bottle of water.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
How do they present it? You know, otherwise the glass with ice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one I find when you go through like a drive-through Starbucks and you order and they go, right, okay, just go around to the window. No, what am I going to do? Yeah. I'm in the system. I can't not go to the window. I want to get what I've just ordered.
There is no longer wait than the wait at McDonald's when they tell you to go into a bay. Yeah.
Not so. And it's always embarrassing because my wife's a vegetarian or a pescatarian technically. She only eat a fillet of fish.
Amazing.
So every time we're sent off and it's like, it's the fillet of fish.
Tell
the
her
damage.
with the filet fish to add 4 cheese slices.
4?
Yeah.
Is it worth it?
Oh my fucking god. Eshaan Akbar.
Yeah, there you go. Which, in unusual comedy context, would not be a nice thing to be called.
Yeah.
But now, for this,
For this, perfect.
works well. Eshaan, this has been a pleasure. I'm going to take you off to enjoy your afternoon now.
Thank you.
So, where can people find you if they haven't already
Follow me on
found
social
you?
media at Eshaan Akbar, aka Michael Packentire. Also on the website eshaanakbar.com. Check out my YouTube series, Hands Down, where I do a show about eating food with your hands.
Nice.
And see all my stuff. I've got lots of cool stuff coming
We
out.
could do is we switch over there and I could show them how to dispose of the aftermath of food with their hands.
Yes, there you go.
Vomit or poo.
Hands
Yeah.
down.
That's a good game, vomit or poo. I could play that.
That is, yeah.
Guys, thank you very much for listening. It's been a pleasure.
Bye.
I'm the sly guy.